Hey Algebra, so we are in 10-4, part 2. We're solving by square roots again today, but now this time it's going to be in a slightly different form, or maybe even a much different form than last time. So last time the equation looked like this. So there was no b term. That was last time, so that was type 1. We're going to do type 2 today, which is different. So this is what it'll look like today. And you're going to notice it is much different. So there's still an A, and the A is still the same. But now instead of having this C, there's going to be this H and K's. Now, right now in your math life, you don't know what H and K are. But moving forward, it's something you will get to know. You don't need to know it right now, though. So we're going to talk about how to solve a problem like this. So I am going to start with, I'm going to go a little bit out of order from the notes online. I'm going to start with one that has all the steps. So we can go through all steps, kind of start with a tough one. Okay. So this is this type 2. Now it doesn't equal 0, and that's okay. Sorry, my puppy's squeaking her toy. It doesn't equal 0, that's okay. So we're going to talk about how to go about doing this. So step 1. We still want to, like on this one, we isolated the x squared. Hey guys. Peyton, Griff, I can't have her squeaking this toy. So we need, sorry, on this one we got the x squared alone. On this one we had x minus h. We're going to get that alone. So we're going to isolate x minus h, the quantity is squared. So we're going to isolate this part. Here we isolated that one. This one we're going to isolate. So we're going to do that by adding or subtracting and then multiply or divide. So our first one is we want to get this alone. So I'm going to move this 2 away. That's 20. I want to get rid of this 4. So that's going to be 5. So that's step 1. Once I get to that point, now I'm ready to get rid of this thing being squared. So I am going to take the square root of each side. Now, in this case, I go to take the square root here and take the square root here. Now, the square root of something squared is just going to be the value underneath, so x minus 3. The square root of 5, we learned that there's some numbers that aren't nice numbers when you take the square root, and the square root of 5 is not super helpful or not super easy, and so that is going to be about 2 point something. Let's look at my calculator here. Oops. So it's 2.24. Remember, we need both the positive and the negative version of that. So in this problem now, and I'm telling you guys, this is a tougher one to begin with. So I kind of started us on a tough problem. Now I need to solve the equation. So, but in this case, I have 2 outcomes. So I'm going to have to set up 2 equations. X minus 3 equals 2.24. And x minus 3 equals a negative 2.24. So I have 2 outcomes here. So I need to solve these. So 2 plus 2.24 plus 3 is going to be 5.24. And then this one's going to be positive 0.76. So we get 2 answers. Again, this is a little bit tougher problem, one that has the decimal right away. So I'll do a few more examples that don't have those decimals to start off with. So our next problem here is x minus 7 squared and then equals 16. So I want to isolate the x minus h squared. X minus 7 squared is isolated already, so I don't have to do that step. Now I'm ready to take the square root of each side. Hey boys. So I'm ready to take the square root of each side. So this will cancel. I just have x minus 7. Square root of 16 is 4, but it's also a negative 4, so plus or minus 4. So now I'm ready to solve my 2 equations. So x minus 7 can equal 4, and x minus 7 could also equal a negative 4 from this. So x ends up being 11 is one of my answers, and also 3 is my other answer. Here's another example with a bunch of steps here, that a little tougher problem again. So again, I have to isolate the x minus h squared, so I have to isolate this. So I'm going to move the 1 away first. Then I have to multiply or divide, so I'm going to divide by 2. Now I'm ready to take the square root of each side. Nice thing is, square root of 9 is a nice number. It's 3, but also negative 3. Whoops, I can't talk and write at the same time. So plus or minus 3. And so now I'm ready to solve each of those. So x ends up being negative 1 is one of my answers, and also negative 7. All right, I want to show you guys one more that has a decimal as an answer. So I'm going to do that, and I think I might just keep going on this one video and then just assign the homework. So I just have the one more example. So hang with me here. And remember, if I ever go too fast, stopping the video or sending me a message with questions is perfectly fine. All right, so last one here. Again, I have to isolate what's being squared. So I'm going to isolate that x minus 2. So I'm going to move this 5 away. And then I go to take the square root of each side. Now, square root of 14 is not a nice number. You take the square root of 14, you're going to get a decimal. It's about 3.7. So plus or minus 3.7. So I'm going to write my 2 different answers. And I'm going to solve each of them. And there's my 2 answers. All right, so our homework is basically the second part of the section that we already started on. So that is going to be on page 656. But we're going to change it up a little bit. We're going to do 32 through 38, and we're going to do all. So you're not doing odds or evens, or you're doing odds and evens for that assignment. Please let me know if you guys have any questions. I hope your weekend was wonderful. Take care.